Yo, what's up, my dudes? So, today's video, I decided that I was going to make a video called the Cronus Zen, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That is the basis of what this video is all about. In this video specifically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review with you what this thing is, what are the benefits, the negatives, the good and the bad and the ugly, so to speak. But I also wanted to let you guys know that these things have been around for over 10 years now. So you've probably been playing people or playing against people, and maybe you didn't even know it. So that's the Zen device right there. And what used to be around back in Destiny 1, and this is how I first learned about it, was the Cronus Max. Now, I was very similar to a lot of you. I frowned on people that used these types of things because I had it in my head that controller mods and whatever are just a terrible thing to use. So there's a stripe pack right there. You know, in the competitive realm and when you get higher levels, these things are actually quite common. And a lot of people have gone to transitioning to keyboard and mouse on the console now that we have the newer console out. So I guess this video is going to be more about what have I learned from using this thing for an entire year now, and if it's actually really benefited me to use it or not. Alright, let's get right into the video. For reference sake, when I'm referencing good, bad, and ugly, good, if there's benefits and advantages to it. Bad, unpleasant, low standard. Ugly, it's absolutely repulsive and even threatening if you use it. Now, here are some examples of what I mean by those. So if it's a good thing, well, that was helpful to me, finished its task and goal. Bad would be this is harmful or it made things worse. Ugly, it caused a legitimate problem that was unpleasant, unforeseen, and had a lasting negative impact. And I will let you know what all of those are in this video right now. Alright, so primarily speaking, this is a controller attachment device. That is what it is. If you're looking to figure out what this thing does, essentially what it does is add macros to your controller. Similar to if somebody were to use keyboard binds or something like that on their keyboard, toggles, macros. It does offer things such as aim assist, anti-recoil, rapid fire, auto melee, and auto run. Those are all things that your controller can and does do on its own account, but this helps make them a little easier. So for example, the 3-round burst auto rifle, pulse rifle that I'm currently using is now firing in what's called rapid fire mode, meaning it's like a fully automatic pulse rifle. Now, the next thing I wanted to go over here, what's the good? Let's take a look. Remember, the good is defined as there is advantage or it is advantageous to use it in some form. And I found that it's incredibly helpful for disabled gamers. Now, this is including people that have not just medical or congenital disabilities, such as the testimony that you're seeing right there for someone that is in fact paraplegic. But I've also found that it's useful on some follow-up what I did for my master's degree in kinesiology with the Wounded Warrior Project. These are some of the wounded vets that have come back from overseas, and they had a lot of issues with things like gaming, and we've begun a actual topic called XR gaming, and now we're starting to use devices like this to help them with motor control. So that way they can play games and have fun too, just like everybody else.
1 minute.
Speaking along the lines of disabilities, it also helps out older gamers. Now, what would you classify as an older gamer? Anyone that's over the age of 50 and is still trying to game. A lot of the issues that are commonly found with the age group of that population is arthritis, or as they like to call it, arthritis. Anyway, so it could occur as an injury, which is what happened in my case, but it could also occur just from being alive and doing random things. So number 3, it's extremely customizable, meaning you can map buttons pretty much any way that you choose. So if you don't like your controller layout the way that it is, you can change it a number of different ways and have a number of different macros to help you with those changes and those transitions. Now, essentially it's macros for your controller, and in the general sense of the word, if you're modding as a service done to a gaming controller, there's no difference between a macro controller as whatever. So right there's your definition of it, okay? This is what we're looking at there. Cronus Zen has a powerful GPC scripting engine giving millions of possible mod combinations on your controller without any special chips or soldering, and that is their way of getting around modification of hardware. It is a controller attachment device. That is why. So that's how they got around the terms of service, basically, which is very clever. You've got to give credit where credit is due. They saw something, they found a way around it. Now, the other thing is that this can help out with average gamers, people that are only playing maybe 1 to 2 hours a week. Someone that is average, casual even, ooh, I know that's such a dirty word, is only playing around 1 to 2 hours of gaming per day. and it can help those people play and compete with the hardcore gamers, and the hardcore gamers to find someone that is basically gaming with much more of their time invested, but also gaming with a specific purpose. They have goals in mind, and they're practicing and trying to achieve. That's why they're called hardcore. Now, a pro gamer is someone that plays full-time, competitive, and they're getting paid. They probably even have sponsorships. A lot of them got to this competitive pro level by utilizing devices such as the Cronus Max, the Zen, the Titan 2, and things of that nature to help them get that competitive edge. Now, it does work on all games. It's a controller mod, not a game mod. So if I were to use the Doom Eternal pack for Destiny 2, the game that you're looking at right here, it would still cross over and be acceptable. Now, moving on to the next thing. Those were all the good. This is now going to be the bad section. Alright, so we're going to get slightly more rough on this one. Alright, so what's considered to be bad? Something that is not as helpful. Setting it up, it's not very user-friendly. The best video that I have on YouTube has over 250,000 views, and it's a how-to video on how to set this thing up. That, to me, is a problem. That means they didn't make it with, I don't know, average people in mind, so to speak. You could spend more time setting it up than actually playing the game, and to me, that's also a big negative. The goal of having a game and playing a game and enjoying a game is to actually play the game. So if you're doing something like setting up your device as opposed to playing the game, then yeah, that stinks. That, to me, counts as a huge negative. I'd rather be playing the game. Now, game packs, a lot of the times, they're bugged. And if you got a buggy game pack, again, speaking of disabled gamers, it's not working properly, then that's a problem. You want to make sure that what you're putting out into the world has good quality to it. Now, I know there's always going to be issues with mass-producing products and stuff like that, but I feel like this one happens way more often than it should. A lot of my videos are about how to get around some of the bugs that happen with this device. And again, instead of playing the game, and instead of having fun with it, I'm talking about the bugs and how to get around those things with workarounds. To me, that kind of stinks. So, another problem I have with this, one of the bad sides, it's expensive. It can cost you anywhere between $100 to $200, depending on where you get it from. To me, that's a problem. That's not easy access for anybody. I mean, that does put it on something of a level playing field because, you know, you do have to pay for the thing, but I don't personally like that it's as expensive for what it does. As well as the headsets that you try to plug into your controller, the Zen being the attachment device, it's like they fight each other. So then it tends to bug out the sound in the headset, causing extra issues when you try to talk to your team, or if you're just trying to, you know, sometimes it turns the sound off completely. So that to me is another bad thing, since it's completely shutting off what you're trying to do with your headset. You need a PC or a laptop just to set the thing up. And again, this goes into the time commitment of owning one. So you kind of have to be all in with it, which I don't really like. It's not plug and play. You can't just have something preloaded and sent to you with the settings that you want. And even if you did do that, you would still need a good PC or a laptop to change them if they bug out on you. Now, another thing is that there is lag from the input. It is another device that you have to go through for signaling until you can get to the actual console with your controller, and when they give signals to each other, that's something that I've noticed is something of a problem. It tends to have latency to it, so your response times on your controller and your stick could actually be slower. Especially in comp, that's a problem. Alright, the ugly. Here's the stuff that I found is absolutely volatile when it comes down to using the Zen. It can be used as a cheating device. If you know what you're doing, and these guys were shut down immediately before they even had 500 different people on it, you can actually use it with a PC and some type of capture software in an undetectable trace. But it's not the Zen that does that, it's the software from the computer. Hacking is never acceptable. And a device that has such wonderful applications, such as helping disabled gamers and even veterans, being used in such a way for competitive advantage and gain is not okay. Now, here's an ugly topic in my opinion. The marketing surrounding this device, I believe to be purposely misleading. Now, I'm going to specifically talk about not just the keywords. Aim assist is the keyword that I'm going to go into right here. But yeah, they specifically use things like aim abuse and aim assist. And these keywords are used to market directly to people that are looking for a little bit of help. So they are taking advantage of people actively, in my opinion, that are looking for a leg up on the competition within a harder and harder skill-based matchmaking type of arena that we're all finding ourselves in. But the aim assist, I mean, look, okay, how about this one? Aim assist from these precision motor control rings. It's no different in my book than what Cronus has. You might as well buy those things and stick them on your joysticks or whatever, and you're going to get the same amount of aim assist out of those that you get out of the Cronus Zen. Another really ugly thing about it is that it does not actually help you improve your gameplay. If you had bad gameplay before, you're probably not going to get a lot of benefit out of this thing after. Skill-based matchmaking, for example, can be a terrible thing. If you get put into a lobby that's way harder than you're expecting to be into, these guys are going to jump and dump all over you, man, especially if you're not supposed to be in that lobby. Speaking of which, this is Season 1. I was already in Diamond Tier back then. This was years ago now, Destiny 2 Season 1, and here I am now. Season 14, Diamond Tier. Actually, I think I've gone down a level. So if that lets you know that I haven't improved or maybe improved much by using this thing, I don't know what else to tell you. It's about level. It's helped maybe a little. All the credit from your gaming will be given to your Zen, not to you. If you won a match, it must be the Zen that did it. If you lost a match, well, you're a hacker, and I was able to beat a hacker and a cheater and a thing and that and the other thing, and I feel so good that I stomped on this guy. There is no winning when you have one. So even if you win a match, people are going to assume that you are horrible anyway. Communication on the community is very misinformed, and they act out against you terribly. If anyone finds out you're using this thing, there are a lot of bad things that come about it. Example number 1, death threats. This has happened on my channel. People telling me that they hope I get COVID. Horrible things about my kids. There's even a petition to have me banned. My original thought with all of this was, wow, people are really salty about me beating them in the game. But people are just really passionate, I guess, about what they're doing. I still find this not to be okay. I find this to be incredibly horrible. I've even lost friends over this. I was going to be the best man at one of my buddies' weddings, and he's such what he calls a pure gamer that, you know, we can't even talk anymore, which I find to be really wild because I'm pretty open and transparent about everything. But anyway, that's where that's at. That's pretty much everything. Here's my final opinion, whether or not you should get one. To be honest with you guys, I don't really know. Like, I know this is not cheating because it doesn't give you an unfair advantage. It gives you an advantage, but the advantage is not considered to be unfair. I guess the best thing I could tell you is I would hold off until you have other pieces of competitive gear before getting a Cronus Zen. I think the best thing you could probably do is get a gaming monitor instead. Maybe get yourself an Xbox Series X, what do you call it, an Elite controller, or something like that. I find those to be more useful because having something help you with a bit of anti-recoil or, you know, the rapid fire is really cool. That's a nice option to have, I guess, but that does not help your gameplay. Having those things given to you, if you're already not great at the game and you're not doing as well as some of these other guys on your fire teams or whatever, you need to look to them for practice and coaching tips before you need to get something of an attachment device to help your gaming out. I'd say step 1 would be get a gaming monitor. That would be the best thing I could tell you, bar none, to help you compete with people that are above your league or above your skill-based matchmake category right now. Alright, my dudes, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from with all of this. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate all your time today. Have a good one.